Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't know where you are in the world, so you may be in a place that doesn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I think here in Chicago, we probably celebrate it more than people actually do in Ireland, but I don't know why, but it is definitely a big deal here. So, welcome to Embrace Your Life Chat, where I'm here to help you focus and heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows through a positive focus. I am Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger. I am in Chicago, as I just said. It is a beautiful, not yet spring, but feeling like spring day here. Let me know where you're joining me from, and let me know if you're new to our community, of our positive focus community. I like welcoming in the newbies. And before we get started on today's topic, I do like to go over a couple of things for people who are regulars and for the newbies to know a little bit more about myself. And one thing is, I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good or bad. There is 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right for 7 billion people or what isn't right for 7 billion people. What I do is I work on a scale of 0 to 100. Excuse me, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody at 0, and I don't know anybody at the 100. I know people closer to the 100, and I know people who are closer to the 0. But my work that I do, my daily practices, and the work I do at others is to stay in the 80 to 100% of being positive, loving, kind, compassionate, peaceful, hopeful, all the things that we want in our life, to focus on what we want more than the focusing on what we don't want. So if I'm focused on the 80 to 100% of the time, that means fear visits, frustration, unworthiness, all the normal feelings that we as humans have visit, but my daily practices keep them from moving in. I feel what I need to feel, and I move forward to feel a little bit better. So that's the first thing I like to tell people. Second is, I'm a coach, mentor, love supporting people and growing what they want to live in their life and what their best life looks like to them. I am not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. And sometimes to live your best life, the situations that you may find yourself in might require that type of support to get you into living your best life. So whether it's me as your coach, someone else as your coach, or a therapist, counselor, clergy member, your best friends, I encourage you to create that support system and be that support system for others as well to live your best life. So those are the things that I want people to know about. You will catch me saying the words always and never on occasion, or right or wrong, but I try to use them sparingly because, again, 7 billion people, what might feel always right to me might not be right for somebody else. I work on the majority, the things that I talk about, and I don't have stats on it, but my guess is the majority of people feel this way. If you're joining me and you don't feel this way, guess what? That's okay too. Use what works for you, try on what might work for you, what might be possible for you, and let go of what doesn't seem right for you, because there's nothing here. I'm here to encourage. I'm not here to tell you what you should do or how you should do something. I am here to say what works for me and what has worked for some of my clients, and I encourage you to give it a try. But that's where we go from there. So let me come into comments really quick before we get into today's topic. Hey, Wilbur, good to see you. Oh, you're in Louisiana, Wilbur. Where at in Louisiana? Stacia is here. Shell, I think. I'm not sure how to say the town you're from, Shell, but greetings. Watum, Watumka, maybe? Sylvia, hello, Sylvia from London. Hello, Erica. Good to see you, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. Karen from Canada is here. Kushner from Saudi Arabia. Taisha, I'm not the best at pronouncing names, so if I say your name wrong, I apologize. I do what I can to give it my best shot. Virginia is where Taisha. Hello, Gina. Good to see you. Remark from the Philippines. Lots of people. One of my favorite things about this community is it's a global community. So any given Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday Facebook Live, generally there's people from all over joining us in this conversation. You only see me. I'm not sure how to make it where we can see other people, but all of you are here in the comments to discuss with as well. So I'm going to go into today's topic. I will come back into comments, but if I stay there, I will get off topic. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to hang out with me for an hour or two. So we're going to go into the conversation. Put your comments and questions in on the comments. Again, let me know where you're joining me from. And then I'll come back afterwards and answer them. And if you have any topics you would like me to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to, put them in the comments for a future conversation, because I do like getting ideas from the community on what they would like to discuss. If it's something I'm comfortable discussing, I will bring it up in another session. If it's something that I know somebody else who might be able to support the community in, I'll invite them in to come talk about it as well. But remember, again, I'm coming from a mentoring, coaching perspective. I am not coming from a counseling therapy perspective. And sometimes, even an issue that I may cover, it might be situational for you that I can support you with. But if it's something that's habitual, that really has a deep grip on you, that might be where you want to seek the support of a counselor or a therapist to move through that. It's not a right or a wrong. It's just where you're at and where you want to go. So today we're going to focus on luck. And the topic is, do you feel lucky? I mean, today's St. Patrick's Day, so it's about the luck and the shamrocks and the leprechauns and all things Irish. And I think some people feel lucky and some people feel unlucky. So we're going to talk about ways that we can bring in feeling more of the luck coming towards us and what that means. So if you're new to me, first thing I like to do is I choose a word often. I define the word. Then we come up with some affirmations to use and then some tips around that. So the definition is, let me see here. Luck to prosper or succeed, especially through chance or good fortune. So it's to prosper or succeed, especially through chance or good fortune. So right there, the definition sounds like you're not doing anything to create luck. It's through chance or good fortune. But you can set yourself up for the opportunity to be in the right place for that good luck or that chance. So even though it seems to be something out of your control, we're going to talk about ways to bring it into something that you can invite into your life, whether you use the word luck or that you're blessed or whatever you choose to use. It's about creating more of what you want rather than creating what you don't want. And it's easy to create what we don't want when it's staring us in the face and it's asking for our full attention. Remember, 0 to 100. I am not saying always be positive, and I'm not saying never be negative. That's negativity is part of us. I have negative thoughts. I have negative words. I don't know of a lot of, well, I probably have negative actions that are nuanced that I'm not even aware are negative in that moment. But because of my daily practices, the majority of the time I am focused on what I want rather than what I don't want. The majority of the time I come from a place of love, kindness, compassion, and peace. I do come from a place of not love, kindness, compassion, and peace, often reflected towards myself more than others. Often for me, it's in my thought. Words are very powerful for me, so I don't usually use them out of turn, but they're still there. So it's about how do I feel, how do I want to feel, and how do I want to move forward. So we're going to come up with some affirmations to use, and I encourage you to write them in your own voice, what you would say instead of what I would say. But if these work, definitely try them out. An affirmation is to replace the negative thoughts that we've had in the back of our head for years and years and years, since the day you were born to today. What other people have said to you, what you've heard out there is implanted within you. A lot of times it's not even meant to be negative. We've taken it negatively for whatever reason. So it's those unconscious thoughts that are there. And when we come up with affirmations, it's to replace that. So we start immediately thinking from a positive, more compassionate space. It's a daily practice. Maybe you're able to do an affirmation once and it sticks. I would say the majority of us require it to be a practice and continue to work on it. And so today's affirmations, and also affirmation, it's just affirming something. So we're going to talk about positive affirmations, but when you're affirming the don't wants, I don't like this, I hate this, I am bad at this, you are affirming that. You are putting that within your system too. So we want to work with positive, hopeful, forward moving conversations around it. And it can be a positive affirmation. I am smart is a positive affirmation. But if you don't feel smart, so as soon as you say, I am smart, and that's a good way to test out if an affirmation is going to work for you, is if you say it immediately and you immediately say, no, that's not true, then that's not a good affirmation for you. It could be a positive affirmation, but it's still not good for you. So you could either go into, I'm in the process of feeling smart, I'm in the process of being smart, or change it completely. But a positive affirmation does not necessarily mean it's positive for you. It needs to feel right for you. And it can be a stretch from where you are right now, but it needs to feel possible that you can be smart or you are already smart. It needs to be something that you feel to be true. So I have a few different ones for you today because it's kind of also part of the tips is to reframe things into what you want rather than what you don't want. So one of them is to start saying, I am lucky, and see and look for those things that feel lucky to you. And maybe it's not even lucky, but it's about the good things that happen to you. So one is, I am lucky. If you say that and it doesn't work, I'm in the process of feeling lucky. So I am lucky, or I'm in the process of feeling lucky. Another one is, I attract good luck in my life. Again, if that doesn't feel right to you, I am in the process of attracting good luck into my life. One that I like to use, and it's not even necessarily about luck, so to speak, but it does help me when I'm in a situation that I'm like, that doesn't feel right to me, but there's a reason I'm there that I just don't know yet. So I like to say I'm in the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reasons. And it helps remind me that even though right now maybe I don't feel like I should be here, I am here. So I'm going to focus on it being right for me for right now. So use that one, give that one a try too. And then another one that I like to use is, that worked out for me better than expected. So if you have something going on that you're pretty much expecting it not to go well, use that affirmation that it worked out better than expected. It still allows it to not be great because you're not saying that worked out perfectly. It's better than expected. And the reason I like that over than saying that worked out great or that worked out well is, if you say it's going to work out great, but you immediately say, no, it's not, this monthly meeting is always bad, then you've negated it already. So when you start saying that went better than expected, it could still be not perfect, but it went better than what you expected it to be. So it took that step forward to feel a little bit better. So those are the affirmations. And if you have some affirmations, put them in comments. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on using those affirmations. And then some tips. Well, if you've been here with me before, you know my number one go-to the majority of the time is to be aware of how you feel. So if you're feeling lucky, you're aware of that. Keep going and moving forward. If you're feeling unlucky, the fact that you're feeling it and you're aware of it, that allows you to shift. So if in this moment you feel good, keep moving forward with it. If in this moment you don't feel good, because you're aware of it, you can either choose to not feel good. Sadness, grief, anger, frustration, fear, none of those things are bad things to feel. It's how long do you want to stay there and how much power do you want them to have over you? So maybe right now you're feeling frustrated. I think I talked about that yesterday, a couple of days ago. I was frustrated for really no, I mean, sometimes we have valid reasons to be frustrated. I didn't have a good reason to be frustrated, and yet that's where I found myself. So it's about feeling where you're at. And if you feel like, you know what, right now I need to be sad. Right now I need to feel this anger and not move forward yet. But you're aware of it, so you're in the driver's seat. When you're on autopilot, life is living you and you're not living your life. So I'm not saying you have to feel better. I'm saying by knowing how you feel, you're giving yourself the opportunity to choose how you feel. I want to feel better, or right now I want to stay in this moment. It's okay either way. It's about feeling what you need to feel. So that's, generally speaking, going to be my first tip for anything on embracing your life fuller, is to feel what you need to feel. Second is to celebrate your wins. I don't know about you, but I think a lot of times I'll do something that I'm proud of myself for, and for a moment I will celebrate it. But I promise you, if I've done something that I'm not proud of, that is festering in my head a lot longer than my excitement for the celebration. So I encourage you to start a practice of paying attention to when you're doing things that you appreciate about yourself. You've gotten a compliment from somebody or whatever it is that's a celebration. Stay in that moment. Maybe even one of the tips that I gave on my 21-day kindness journey 2 years ago now, was at the end of the day, write down or think about things that you celebrated about that day. And if you're having a hard day, maybe you celebrated that you got out of bed that day. If you're having a hard day, maybe you celebrated that you knew you needed to stay in bed that day. So there's many ways that we can find things that we're proud of ourselves for and celebrate. But I encourage you to focus on the celebrations rather than all the time we spend on paying attention to what we didn't do right, what we should have done different, because there's a lot of those out there for us to focus on. I use an example, and again, I've been out of school for a while, so it may not be this way anymore, but you take a test of 100, and at the top of the page, it still said -2 rather than +98. So we've tended to always focus on what's not right more than focusing on what is right and growing from there. When I give my energy, my full attention, not all the time, again, I'm 80% in the kindness, love, compassion piece. So that means 20% of my energy is on what I don't want or what I don't like or the heavier feelings. But when I give my attention more, the majority, which is 51, don't have to be at 80, 51% is majority, then I'm giving that the energy to grow. If I'm at the 49%, I'm giving that the energy to grow. Again, it's not a right or a wrong. It's where you're at, how you feel, and how you want to feel. So it's important to know that if you're angry right now, you're not a wrong person. You're not a bad person. Even if your anger, like my frustration the other day, was not justifiable. There was no reason for me to be frustrated, but I was in that moment. So even if you're in a moment where your anger is justified or not justified, you get to feel the way you need to feel moment by moment by moment. When you pay attention to how you feel is when you're able to move forward to feel a little bit better or stay where you are. Tip 3 is to reframe your don't wants into do wants. I know that it's pretty easy now. Again, I've been practicing this for years and years. So this is not my normal MO to go into. But you hear a lot of people saying, I can't do that. I don't like this. All the don'ts and I should do this or all those kinds of things. When you catch yourself saying, I can't do it, I won't do it, I don't like this, what do you like? Focus on what you do like rather than going on social media and saying awful things about the people or the experiences you don't like. Reframe it into a positive, compassionate, loving statement, especially for yourself. When you're focusing on the I don't like this about myself, what can you do to reframe it into I do like? And if it's I don't want you to pretend if there's something that you don't like about yourself, and I expect we all have things that we don't like about ourselves. It's where you spend the majority of the time. So I'm not asking you to pretend that it's not there. If it's something you really don't like, look for positive solutions. Look for kind, compassionate solutions on how to change that. So it's rather than being critical and hard on yourself, look at it as a way that you're like, okay, I don't like this. What can I do to like it better? What can I do to change it into being the person that I want to be? Who do I want to show up as today? This behavior is not who I want to show up as. What can I do to change that behavior? How can I be gentle with myself as I move forward to change that behavior too? And then the next one is to pay attention to the synchronicities and the things that you didn't plan to happen, but they happen for you, and celebrate those. Add those to your celebration list, because it's really, you're going to start noticing the more you focus on what you want, it's going to grow and you're going to see the wants in your life more than what you don't want. It's the ability that you've now added that to it's called your reticular activating system. There are thousands and thousands of things going around each of us every day that we can't possibly see it all. So when we start focusing on it, then we're going to see it. An example I like, and I don't know, I'd love to know if this has been true for you, but when I've gotten a new car, all of a sudden I see all of those cars on the road, which 2 weeks prior, I might have seen a couple of them. But now, because I'm driving it, now because I'm focusing on it, I see that. Or I see the same color car because that's now my focus. Whereas before I wasn't focusing on a particular color. So what you're focusing on, you're going to see more of, which could be you're focusing on what you want, you're going to see more of, or if you're focusing on what you don't want, you'll see examples of that too. The world will show you the examples that you're giving the most attention to. Again, not right or wrong, just where you are and where you want to be. So the next one is to be kind to others. Do nice, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Share your smile. Have a nice comment to people. Do a nice action for people. The karma, it may not come back from that person that you're doing something nice. They may not turn around and return that kindness to you. First of all, we should be doing the kindness because we just want to be kind. But generally speaking, again, what you're putting out there is going to come back to you in some form, some way, some other time if you're paying attention to it. So you do a kindness to Jane, and all of a sudden Bill in a week from now does something kind for you. So be the person you want to see more of in the world. So if you want more kindness, more love, more compassion and peace in the world, start by being that first and seeing it expand. Again, it might be a quick shift like that you notice it right away. But if you practice this daily, you're going to see those shifts in time. And then get curious. Get curious about, I wonder if this will work. I wonder if I start focusing on what I want, if it's going to work. I wonder what it would be like if I felt happier the majority of the time. And just get curious about it rather than, oh, this isn't going to work. It's never worked for me before. Get curious. Give it the opportunity to work. And it may not work. I can't promise you 7 billion people. I can promise you that if you give it a try and you're open to receiving new possibilities into your life, you're going to start seeing those new possibilities come in. It's a daily practice. Some people might be able to do it immediately, but I think the majority of us require it to be a practice. And then the last thing is to believe in possibilities. Believe that you're worthy of possibilities of living your best life. You may not see that path today on how that's going to happen. It might be a path that's 6 months down the road. It might be a path that's 5 years down the road. But when you're focusing on who you want to be and how you want to show up, every step within that journey can be beautiful in this messy world that we live in. So that's what I have for you today, is to welcome in luck to your world by focusing more on what you want rather than what you don't want, being gentle with yourself, celebrate your successes from the smallest success. Again, if you're going through a hard time right now and you decided today I'm going to get out of bed, or your decision was I need to stay in bed today, you are in control of that. Celebrate that you made the right decision for you right now. The outer world may think that that wasn't the right decision, but for you, it was the right decision for today. So go out there and celebrate that for yourself. So let me come into comments here and see if we have any questions or new people. And sometimes I do not see people's comments on here until I go back later. So I apologize if I've missed someone. Let's see here. It looks like I'm seeing the people from earlier. Hello, Mary. Welcome and happy St. Patrick's Day to you in Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know how your weather is, Mary, but usually you're a little colder than me, and today's beautiful here. So I'm hoping you're having that. Erica, everybody says I'm Irish. I get that all the time. I shouldn't say they say, people think I'm Irish. I don't think I am. I've never done a DNA test. I think I'm just from England somewhere, down the road. But I don't think that my family has Irish in it. But people, I've argued with me. They're like, oh, no, you're Irish. So I should do a DNA test sometime and see if I have any Irish in me. Hello, Dia from sunny Florida. Phyllis is here from New Bern, North Carolina. I'm not sure where that is in North Carolina. I have family in North Carolina. Suman is here. I believe God's spirit makes me lucky at times. I'm definitely protected. I love that, Erica. I'm in the process of accepting all of my blessings. Shell, I love that one. And I love that you put it in the process, because again, if you say, I accept all my blessings, or I know I'm blessed, and immediately think, nope, something really hard happened yesterday, then you've negated the power of it. So I honestly think I'm in the process of, it's probably a good thing for most of us to have in front of our affirmations anyway, but it's definitely something to consider. I am wearing a shirt that states I am blessed and lucky. I love that, Shell. I need to get that shirt. I have put some, I have some t-shirts that I've just put on my website. They're called intention tees. So you wear it and you set the intention to be kind and that kind of thing. I may need to add that type of shirt in there, but I'll add the link if anybody wants to look at the products that I've just added. I'm not really good at promoting my work or my products, but hey, Rachel, good to have you here. Steve, here's something I suggest to people sometimes. It is from a Buddhist text, the Heart Sutra. Let me put it up here, Steve, because I keep losing it in comments, which is part of a larger text called, let's see if I say this right, Prajan Paramita. There is nothing to be achieved or not achieved. Everything is in the right place at the right time. I love that, Steve. And I think it's helpful for the majority. And I think sometimes when you're in a really hard place, I would say this is a prime example of daily practice. Because when you practice this, when things are either easy or gentle and going well, it's easier to rely on things like this when you are in the harder, challenging times. So thank you, Steve, for sharing that. I love that. I don't have, do I have it? Can you, no, you can't see it. It's up higher on my shelf. I've just read recently, I listened to the audio actually, The Book of Life by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And it's one of my favorite books, definitely top 3 and possibly the top book. I'm planning to do a book club on it soon because it's just so good. I think, how does it work for you to be a life coach? Is it once a week, and what's the cost? Stacia, you can go to my website to see the costs. It varies. One of my clients I work with weekly. Most of my clients I would say are every other week. Every now and then there's somebody who's just like once a month. It's really about the level of attention you want to give it. I find for myself, because of my daily practices, if I don't do it daily, then I'm going to slide in. And I think about it when I exercise. Like I'll get into a good routine where for a month I'm exercising, 5 days a week. And then I get off of it and all of a sudden it's 3 days a week, 2 days a week, or whatever. So it's really about where you want to be and how self-motivated you are. I am here to support you. I can't change things for you, but I can certainly encourage you and give you tools to help with the changes that you want to make. For me, I would say probably every other week is probably the most impactful, unless you're on that really like, I'm committed, I'm going to do it. Because I'm not sure I understand. I'm not talking to you, Alexa. But yes, I do have clients who are once a week and some that are every other week. So I would say the majority do the every other week. And some people just get one session and I don't hear from them again for like 4 or 5 months, and something comes up that they want to talk to me. So it's totally, it doesn't necessarily have to be a scheduled thing. It depends on where you are and what you want to do. East Hartford, Connecticut, rain today, but 74. I like 74. Can we order, please send the link? Shell, order what? What is it that you're wanting to order? And I will let me put this link in here. This link takes you to pretty much any link you need to get from me to join the Global Hug Movement that's back in September. But Shell, let me know. I'm not quite sure. See here. Sandy, hello. Welcome from Liverpool, UK. We have a couple of UK people in the house today. What does a life coach do different than a counselor? I guess there's a little bit of a blend for sure. But I would say for me, when coaching and mentoring I do is supportive, and it's certainly healing as well. But when you have something that is a deeper thing, and I guess for me, what I'm talking about with counseling and therapy, it's trained in those modalities. I've had people who have joined me in comments who say, that they are very depressed or they deal with anxiety attacks. I am not trained in anxiety attacks, and I'm not trained in depression. I can handle situational depression if you've lost your job and you're, depressed about that. The clinical issues of that are deeper interwoven into who you are. I am happy to support people. I just want them to know that they may require somebody who is at a deeper understanding of what they're personally going through. So coaching is more of setting goals to move forward into what you want. I do believe counseling does do goal setting as well, but they are also working at the issues, the deeper things that you're needing to work through to move forward. Stacey, that is a great question, and I should probably have a better answer for you than I just gave you, but that is my interpretation of it. Yes, I'm not going to say the name Shell because she will start speaking to me again. The t-shirt. So yeah, that link that I just put in from Linktree has it, but let me go straight to it here. And I'll send it to you. I have 5 different t-shirts right now available. One is Believe. One is a hug dealer because I'm a global hugger. One is Be Kind because kindness is a superpower. One is Love, and one is a magic maker and create magic in your life. So I put that in the comments. Oh, it just said I don't know that it worked, but we'll see if it worked or not. It did work on that Linktree thing, and I will definitely come back later and check comments to see if there's anything else. I do know that I have 2 topics from people yesterday to talk about anxiety. And again, anxiety is very common for the majority of us. So I can talk about it at that level for people who have anxiety attacks, and it's a bigger, it takes over more of their day than not. Those are the people that I encourage to seek support from people who are trained in dealing with anxiety attacks. It's not a right or a wrong. It does not make you a good person or a bad person for being there. It's where you are. How do you want to feel and how do you want to move forward? So sometimes counseling and therapy is my way that I would encourage you to move forward. I'm here to help as much as I can. I just know that there are some things that are out of my expertise. So I don't want you to think that I can solve things that I don't know about more. I will send love every day, and I will send compassion and kindness and peace, but there's certain things that are above what my knowledge base is, and clinical type of issues are exactly that I would encourage you to seek that support. So I don't see any other comments right now. And again, if I miss anybody, I apologize. I will come back later in the afternoon, especially for people who watch on replay. So if you have future topics you would like me to cover that's going to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows, put it in comments and I will add it there. I am done for this week. I will be back next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to talk about heightening celebrations and lessening sorrows. Don't know the topics yet, but I do know it will come from a place of live love, kindness, compassion, and peace. So go out there and have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day if you're celebrating that, or just a wonderful, compassionate, loving, kind, and peaceful day wherever you find yourself on this big, beautiful, and messy world that we're part of. Take care. Remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. We'll talk soon. Have a lovely day and rest of your week. And I'll talk to you on Tuesday. So long for now.